Hey guys, welcome to this week's stream off the charts market analysis. Going to take a look at the market here, as always, starting with Bitcoin. So continuing this downtrend for the past quite a while, since end of last year, November. We continue to just put in lower highs. Got sort of a similar structure going on here to what happened here. Basically, just kind of shrunk. We're getting a little bit of a bear flag forming. I think there's no guarantees here, but I think the odds are in the favor of the bears here. At least to come down and take this liquidity locally, if not further down. Time's going to tell with that, but we have these equal lows here. Now we're coming for a third. I think there's a good chance we at least sweep that before any further upside. And if that can't become a deviation, then we'll probably just break that and continue further down into this sort of previous demand zone. And ultimately, I think, if this does play out, I think ultimately we're going to head down to 12.5K area. Not calling for that, but that certainly would be somewhere where I would look to be picking up some Bitcoin myself. For long-term sort of macro swing position. So we'll see what's going on there. Time will tell. Not too much to read here. Just bouncing on support until it breaks. We just need to kind of see what happens next. Jumping over to ETH, I know it's looking very similar. Again, not quite the exact same structure, but you have this low here. Went up, came back down. We've retraced that whole move. And now, not getting the strongest reaction here on support. But again, until it breaks, support is doing its job technically. It hasn't been able to come up and make even a low time frame higher high here to sort of give any signal to bulls that they're showing strength or anything. And we had marked this a while back, this inefficiency, which now we've filled sort of 3/4 of it. Just in confluence with the idea on Bitcoin, I think it's likely we fill this more. Bull case, that's a deviation. Bear case, that's just support breaking and gearing up for the next leg down. Not too much good news to report here on ETH and Bitcoin for sure. It just hasn't been great lately. I think everyone's aware of that. And again, I guess this would be sort of my similar level. Sort of 800 on ETH, but mostly going to be seeing what happens with Bitcoin to determine what sort of levels I want to be picking up ETH at, as well as stock market and things like that. We can't just trade this in a vacuum because it's just reached the point where other things are affecting it also that we need to be paying attention to. ETH BTC, I know we kind of came to range high, deviated a little bit here and dipped down. I would say there's a strong chance we come back down to the mid-range of 0.066, somewhere around there. Typically when you get these deviations, that's what you look for. So we can kind of look at that like a swing failure or a range deviation. Maybe we come up, make a lower high, come down, and test that mid-range area. See what happens from there. It's no mystery. It's no surprise that I'm more interested in ETH and altcoins than I am in Bitcoin, so I tend to pay more attention. But yeah, this is still something we should be keeping an eye on here. Total. Okay. So, again, this is not one that I keep up with very often, but we got our bounce on support. We came up to resistance, missed my line by a hair, and now we're heading back down. We do have some sort of structural support here that maybe it can hold. Maybe we can turn that into a flip and start to go back up. But after a sell-off like that, I typically don't expect fresh highs. I'm thinking more just sort of filling in the gap, putting in a lower high, and then maybe come down to range low before we are able to get back up again. Yeah. Take a quick look at GMX. I know we've been trading this one pretty actively, and it's like the only thing green on my watch list, so worth a look. So we just rebought, or I just rebought. I shouldn't speak for everyone else, but I gave the call that I was rebuying down here at 29. We got about a 20% move up to, well, 36 would have been 20%, so we've actually gone a little bit higher than that. And I've taken my 20% profit out, and I'm just running with my initial size there. If this keeps going up, I'll kind of just keep trimming it to the original size and booking that profit. But certainly an outlier here. As you can see, even compared with ETH, you know, it's up 7.75% on the day. If we go to my bigger watch list, again, you have a couple of tiny little gainers going on here, but GMX really impressive. So yeah, that's one to watch for sure. I think that's going to do it for the recorded part. We got some guys waiting to chat, so I will speak to you in a few weeks. You'll see one of the other guys next week. Thank you and good night.